to do the podcast with Cam Will, I started playing the click track because it was just getting into it, and he's like, is that gonna be on the whole time? And then it stopped. Like, yeah, we're doing a podcast along to the click track.
It'd be funny. You're like, you gotta make sure to talk at the same BPM the entire time.
We're keeping the BPMs of the conversation.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited for Cactus Club though.
Yeah.
That show is gonna be wild.
Yeah. Especially after the last time at Cactus too.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like a whole new perspective on like, cause I feel like we've definitely played Cactus shows before, but that one really felt like playing to a sold out crowd there, and like really got the feeling of playing there.
Oh yeah, I think we're at like 36 pre-sales now, which I guess a Tuesday night, like super last second. But
yeah, I don't think we've ever played on a Tuesday before.
Nah, yeah, have we? Or have it just in general?
I don't think so. We played on a Sunday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
The Pap show was like a Wednesday.
That was a Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. Ingrained forever. Get a tattoo of that.
The coordinates and the date.
A map of the coordinates on my back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or just a little like one shot ingrained from that day is just like your minivan, and then the wet leg tour bus.
Oh yeah.
Like, right behind is just the big
Just
ass like
squished up against the back.
Yeah.
Dude, I always think about, and I don't always think about it, but when I'm thinking of that load in, we were like this close to scraping Lower Town's minivan. Because like Willie was looking, he was like videotaping it. And he's just like waving the van and then didn't look on the other side.
Yeah.
We were like that close.
Everything about that like the first like hour from when we got there to like unloading, and like I just
like
felt like
Judgment
I was in a
Day.
trance. I was just like
It was like such a flat day just with the weather. It was like just the same amount of light the whole day, and just like nerves and excitement, just like walking into the unknown.
I know. Wild. Like
Watching the documentary that Willie made, and just like beforehand when we're all walking out, we're like, yeah, I don't know, just like
I know.
such a
Like
hodgepodge
excited,
of
but like
emotions. Like, oh God, this is real.
I know. It's wild to think like we didn't even have a practice space when we played that show. We were in like Honey Creek's basement. Like,
Yeah, shout out to Honey Creek for that.
Yeah, seriously.
That was so nice of them just to let us fucking jam in the basement.
I know, just the feeling to like actually practice like on real equipment, like Kai especially. Like,
Oh my
having
God.
play on an electric kit.
Playing
and
on that
everything.
thing. Cannot believe we got that show often.
I know. Yeah.
And then like when we were going through that side door, and it's like right to the stage, and Wet Leg was right there. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah. And they were so nice.
Be cool,
too.
be cool, be cool.
Like the chillest people.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly what you'd expect from like their internet persona. Just like very bizarre, but in the best way.
I haven't seen them post much lately.
I feel like they've been quieter.
Yeah. I knew they posted something that they had to like take a break from some shows just with mental health and all that.
I bet. Like I couldn't imagine just like the year that they've had. I mean, like going from like kind of blowing up on the internet to just like playing festivals, headlining a tour, and just like
coming from the Isle of Wight, which is probably not a big populated area either.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Could not imagine that.
We want to go to the lake. we heard there's a lake.
Like, what?
Or the ghost. They're like, we want to find the ghost of the Pabst Theater. We're like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Was that what they said when we were, or no, they asked you and I. Was it just you and me when we were gonna follow them and watch Lower Town set from the third floor?
Yeah. And then we just saw everyone we knew, and we got into like the little lobby.
Yo,
Like,
forever etched in. Yeah, that night was awesome.
Yeah.
And often there'll be so many people that I'll see out and be like, yeah, I was at that Wet Leg show. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they were definitely like one of the hottest up and coming indie bands at the time. So it makes sense that like a lot of people in Milwaukee who might come to one of our shows would have just kind of happened to be at that show based on general music taste.
Right, because they were on the radio with Chase Lounge.
Yeah.
God damn.
I remember walking into Bremen after, and that song was playing.
Was it? Oh my
It
God,
was.
dude.
Yeah.
I was talking to Willie on the podcast, and I wasn't a part of this whole interaction, but apparently the lead singer of Lower Town was talking shit about Ian. You know Ian, the videographer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're saying that Ian, he was stinky for some reason. I was like,
What?
fuck y'all. Like, first of all, how could you... And apparently they're saying that they could smell him from the first row. Like, first of all, what? Like,
What?
how could you smell that? And then, I don't know. That's just a mean thing to say.
How are they? I don't even remember Ian. He wasn't like backstage at all.
No,
at
he
that
was.
show, was
He was like front row though for
and Lower
their
Town
set.
remembered him.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
weird, dude.
Yeah.
What? That's bizarre.
Yeah.
That is bizarre. You're like,
And
there's
They
1,000 people
just
in this
kept
crowd.
saying it at Bremen or whatever to some people. I don't think they kept saying it, but they said it. And people are like, "What? Oh, no way! We know him."
That's so weird. I don't remember talking to anyone in Lower Town other than Joseph.
Yeah,
I think that was
which
his name,
he's the
drummer.
fucking coolest dude.
Yeah, he was super sweet.
So nice. And I told you about when me and Elias went to the Chicago Talia Hall show like a few days later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get it. I get it. Joseph was cool though. Shout out
He
him.
was.
He's still drumming with them, which is pretty cool. They're doing some
Yeah.
big shows lately, it seems like.
Yeah.
Some bigger tours.
Mm-hmm.
God, looking at people's tour schedules is just so inspiring. It's like
I know.
one day, man.
I know.
I feel like it's always people that, if there's one benefit to a label, I feel that they have connections of putting together those kind of shows.
It's just because, like, you only know so much. Like, it's even in, I mean, there's still venues we haven't played, like, in Milwaukee. And, like, we've played so many shows here. So just the thought of, like, getting into markets in other cities and states. And it's just, there's so much you have to know in order to, like, not only get a tour booked, but also get a tour booked where, like, you're getting people to the shows,
Right.
you know? Because, like, it's one thing to go play a show somewhere and, like, it's super cool, but in, like, practical terms, like, if you're playing a show somewhere on a Tuesday night in, like, Pennsylvania, it's like, how are you going to get people there, you know, and promote it and, you know.
I feel like you just gotta find and know the right people. That I think is a lot in like PR. Like there's just PR agencies you can work with. And, but also you can do it like in a really guerrilla way. I remember Celestial when I was talking with him. He used to be part of. Do you know the artist? Fuck, what's it? Grizz.
Yeah.
Grizz, the
Yeah,
electronic artist. Sully is a big fan of Grizz, and back in the day when Grizz wasn't much of the artist he is now, but he had certain people being like ambassadors in each city or different cities that I don't think he hired Sully or these people, but maybe gave them like T-shirts and like access to like free shows kind of thing.
Okay. It's like incentive to
So-
come out, kind of.
Yeah, and like getting people to the shows,
Yeah.
which I think is really smart.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah, I never really heard about that.
Yeah.
But also have never like seriously looked into booking shows like outside of
Mhm.
the state.
It's possible to find those people on Instagram, I think, and just be like, maybe pitching something to them in a DM and
Yeah.
being like, hey, if you get some people to the show and promote it a little bit, whether it's like, I don't really believe in flyers necessarily these days. I feel some
like physical flyer
yes,
posting. Yeah,
some bands will be really heavy on that,
yeah.
which I don't know. It's hard to get that turnover, I guess, from people seeing the flyer to putting in their calendar and maybe buying a ticket from a physical flyer.
It is just with like, I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those things you romanticize of sort of like a fragment of the past.
Yeah.
Like posting flyers, the proverbial like flyer posting. But it's like now when you can shoot it out on Instagram and reach so many people instantly, it's like, you know.
And it's important to have a good flyer, but
Oh, yeah.
as far as the physical ones, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like you'd go to Brady Street, like look at a poll and be like, unless it was,
Yeah,
I guess,
right.
someone you knew, but also then it's like you've probably already seen it.
Yeah,
elsewhere,
exactly.
too. So
Exactly.
be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but
Some flyers I've seen at Rochambeau have been ones I already see online.
Yeah.
At that point, and then also online you can like tap the tagged and see who it is, and then like again like go to the ticket link and stuff. But yeah, it's just a different world.
yeah,
But having like another show outside of Milwaukee, I think that'd be a good idea of like finding some people who are like really dig us, and then just like being like, hey, I'll get you a free T-shirt and a few other like merch stuff and whatever, and a free ticket if you like help us promote this.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the kind of thing that like if you're gonna do a merch giveaway type deal, like being able to potentially get some people at the show out of it, like for sure would be something cool to do.
Oh yeah, in the future. But yeah, that January 28th show is gonna be when I was talking with Christian, he was like, we're so hyped about it. It's gonna be a party.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fun.
yeah. I think
be
it's gonna be cool to play the Cooperage like outside of a Mid-Coast event. Just like obviously love Mid-Coast and everything that they do, super cool. But just seeing that venue like independent of that, I think will be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Since the only 2 times I've played there have both been Mid-Coast stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I saw one show there like pre-COVID, like 2019. Have you heard of Harmar Superstar before? He's like an indie pop artist.
I feel like I actually recognize the name, but I
want
couldn't
to say
think
he's from
of
like
him.
Minnesota or something. He's been around for a minute, but it was one side project of his played at the Cooperage, and I think Immortal Girlfriend.
Yeah, okay.
Who's a Milwaukee-based
Like
group.
duo.
Duo, yeah. Like indie electronic.
I haven't heard of them doing anything recently. I don't know if they moved or what, but I remember before COVID, I would hear their name all the time.
Yeah.
I know like Dog Bad would do some shows with them.
Okay.
And maybe record with them too. Apparently they have a cool recording space.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like I'll hear on 88.9 about like new music they're putting out, but like haven't seen them playing around the area.
Gotcha.
But from what I remember, I think they were the opener for that show.
I remember Beach Bunny played like a acoustic set at the Cooperage once. I think that was actually post-COVID, like early on. But Beach Bunny is really cool.
They played at the Back Room too, didn't they? At some point.
Probably.
Okay. I don't know their music
Chicago.
all that well, but they're from Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting, like seeing some hearing about Chicago music, like that booms, and it'll be interesting. Like, you follow Trash on Instagram, right? Like, there's just so much hype in the Chicago scene right now, and we were talking about it, and I told you guys like it's just you got to book a show like 6 months in advance right now because it's just fucking like it's just nuts.
Yeah. He's a great connection to have, though, for like, just because he's just seems like the encyclopedia.
Just the dad.
Like,
he's the dad of the Chicago scene, man. I fucking love Trash.
Yeah.
I'm getting him on the podcast before our Washroom show.
Oh, hell yeah.
In March 11th.
Yeah, that dude, like, he's just one of those performers who, like, whether you like the kind of music that he plays or you don't, it's like when he's on stage, he like has that room. Like, just an incredible, just natural performer. And his music is sick too, whether it's country or punk.
Yeah. He is just, I don't know. It just all ties into one seamless kind of person / music and band. band in just such a chaotic, like awesome, funny way. I don't know, man.
I remember when he like got up on stage at that Chicago show and he was like, for all of you who want to hear Sports Drink tonight, you're not gonna. Just like starts ripping country music.
When we were talking about the Miramar show that just got confirmed, he's like, dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to jump off a bunch of shit at that stage.
Yeah, didn't he get a concussion like the last time? Because we saw him at the Miramar like a year ago.
That was right before the Pap show that Sunday.
They were like a 2-piece, I think. Totally Cashed was at that show.
There's
Just
so many
him and a
different
drummer.
iterations he'll do.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2-piece, and that show is like he was fucking just destroying it.
Yeah, and then North
Killing
Warren
it.
smashed the guitar. That Luke smashed the guitar that show.
It's funny they brought a brick out to smash the guitar on a brick. I think North Warren is coming out with an album soon. I was talking with Luke a little bit. And I think like a duo EP maybe with Doubter or something.
That's right. Bailey was telling me a little bit
Something
about
like
that the
that.
other day. Yeah. I think it's something like that. They were like splitting studio time. I think where we played that show at was it Noise Together?
Yeah, yep.
I feel like I've
seen
him
them
posting
recording
stuff,
over there. That's such a nice studio. It's like too
Yeah.
nice. It's
I
too
know.
good to
Honestly,
be true.
like same with North Warren. What's it called? Rev Pop.
Yeah.
That's super nice too.
I don't know if they're practicing over there still, are they?
I have no idea.
I
That was a while back.
recently,
when we went over there.
last I talked with like the guys, I think Rev Pop was going through some renovation kind of thing, so they got like booted.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Oh yeah, Luke hit me up to if we knew any practice spaces. I don't know if they're still there, or if they're in Luke's basement now or something. Because I know he moved to the east side.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Tossing on their band on the lease at our space.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Get
Gotta
that
figure
rent
that
down
out.
like
Yeah.
another $4 or something.
We could do 25. I'm sure we could hit 25.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like I feel like the time constraints as far as like people trying to get practice time in there is no issue. It's just like the gear is gonna start piling up. There's so much stuff in there.
Yeah.
Now, which
I would be more comfortable on making it like a cooler space if I was there more, or if like I was on like the main person on the lease kind of thing.
So you just never know.
Yeah,
if Colin wants to move or something like that. Which
I'm sure they'd
just
like give us the switch it over if anything, but it's not there enough. I feel.
Well, it's hard too, because like I feel like you and I both, in terms of recording stuff, are so used to doing it at home.
Yeah.
So like the thought of like having to get up and like drive to a studio when an idea comes up and like want to get it down, it's like just slide over on the desk chair, and, like, play something, get it down.
Right.
And, like I could see potentially if we wanted to get more serious about recording. Like, full band stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now,
but then we got Eric too.
Yeah.
Stillwave Studios, 25 an hour. Like, damn.
And we just like, I mean, if we have a song rehearsed, like, I feel like we got, for sure with Raspberry Blue, we got it down in like maybe 3 takes or something, other than the vocals. But
that was like another one. That was only like $80.
Yeah.
So, damn.
And with just having like Austin's skill set in terms of polishing stuff off and like just turning it into a final product and not having to ask for like mixing, mastering.
That's
like,
true.
It's a pretty sweet deal for what we can get out of it. For sure.
I think for at least the next one, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with that MATC thing. That sounds like a pretty sweet deal.
That does, yeah.
But I feel like getting drums is like getting the drum tracks down and then doing like guitar like direct in like afterwards. I think I would rather do that.
Got to get Kai to play to a click.
I know.
Gotta get him to play to a click.
Raspberry Blue though is tough though. That's like
a
tough song to get to a click. We tried so many times.
Oh my god.
To get that song down on the electric drum.
kit.
Not it.
We were stressing about that one for a while.
Yeah,
like,
trying to get it done.
What the hell are we gonna do with that? Like, just because I feel like for a while we were like, we just wanted it to be like similar to the live
Right.
recording, and just like with the MIDI drums, just could not get there.
Right.
You know, and that was before we really worked with Eric.
Yeah,
like,
and that
you know.
happened so randomly too, because we were practicing at the space, and then Honey Creek was in town,
Yeah.
and or just doing some stuff with Eric, and they're like, yo, they heard us because they're like directly above. They're like, yo, come up to the studio and say what up. And then like Eric's like, yeah, 25 an hour. Like, shit,
You're like, hey.
that just happened.
Just fell into our laps.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Seriously.
sweet studio, though.
It is really
And
cool.
Eric was great to work with.
Yep.
Super chill, dude.
Super laid back. We can do, once we got the drums, like doing everything else, it's easy.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like crazy about, because like having, I feel, maybe a little bit of drums inside of a guitar track or bass track, just recording it like that just isn't clean as I would want it.
Yeah. I think it is just, you have so much more control over everything when you do it like piece by piece, because then there's no pressure on anyone to, like,
to
if
get the perfect take.
Exactly. Or if like 2 out of the 3 people have a take they really like and one person's like unsure about something, it's just like when you've got everything down like to time and can just build off of it. Like I've always found just recording, or my experience in doing it, just being able to like have that kind of outline and then just like build the like subsequent layers off of it, like
the exact same way. Because when we were doing it with Eric, we had to, if I wasn't crazy about one certain part, we had to like start it weirdly, and I couldn't wrap my brain around like why we had to, I don't know, because it was on a click and it was Pro Tools and it was like the full band recording, just with the timing and everything was goofy, and I don't know.
Pro Tools is so scary to look at after working on Logic or GarageBand for the majority of the things that you've done.
Yeah.
Looks like so archaic.
Robotic. And how
sure,
could,
it's the same exact thing, but like...
But I feel like the GarageBand Logic feel is just so warm and welcoming, and you can see
got
like,
the icons.
just so visual.
Yeah.
I'm such a visual person, so the colors are all like, it's like
I'm
Ableton.
with ya. Ableton too. I've like, I think I got like the Ableton Lite or something with a MIDI keyboard that I bought once and like tried it, and I was like,
Me too. My brother had Ableton because he was doing DJ stuff back in the day, and gave me a pirated version of it, and I made some songs on there, but like they were just, the drums in it were just so dumb, and like didn't know what I was doing. There's just so much you can do.
Yeah.
But they even say just for the type of stuff we do, it's like GarageBand or Logic is perfect.
I mean, I feel like with just recording like typical rock band like setups, you don't really need a whole lot of plugins, because like, especially if you're recording through your amp and stuff, it's like most of it is going to be the effects that you put on it before even like going DI with it anyway. So I feel like you need the bare minimum.
Do you go direct in with your amp? Or do you just go direct, or like mic up your amp, or do you just go direct in and choose your amp setting?
For like everything I've done up until this single that's coming out Friday, I always just went DI.
Beef and etc.
Beef and etc. Yeah.
Is that liquor store? Or what was the story? I remember you told me once before, but
it was like, there is just this weird, I went to college up in La Crosse. But it was just like this little store, and it just had like, I can show you a picture later, but it just had like beef and etc. And it was just like, what the hell is going on in there? And I never went in. And
what's the etc?
What is the etc? And then it closed down for
front.
like, if there's any,
Oh, it closed down?
Yeah, like closed down, and they put like a Thai place in or something, and I had just like, it was a file I had on my computer building off for like months now, and I think I just like sent it to myself once and called it beef and etc. And I was like, I'm gonna change it at some point, and then I was just like, I don't know, it just feels right at this point.
Right, grandfathered in.
But I would usually go DI just right into the Focusrite, and then just like use the Logic amps.
Yeah.
But recently I've been doing like going into the pedal board, into the
Right.
amp, and then out from the amp into the Focusrite, and that's been liking the sounds a lot more. It's just kind of getting sick of like the same couple preset amps I used on Logic.
Right.
But for electric, I'll do that, and then I always will mic up acoustic
Yeah.
guitar just because I think it sounds so much nicer mic'd than than DI for sure.
For acoustic, definitely. I always use the Yeti mic for the acoustic for sure.
I just love like the little like the creaks and like the little clicks and stuff you get from just like the natural recording. And I feel like that's like a preference thing. Like some people like a super clean track, but I've always kind of liked the DIY sound of like the little imperfections. And
oh, totally.
I always like when people kind of leave that stuff in
Yup.
to tracks that I'm listening to. So
I saw a video of on Instagram today. I spent way too much time on Instagram today. So annoying, but
it'll happen.
because I'm like going back to like message people and like do a lot of networking, setting up shows and stuff, and then I'll just catch myself just scrolling down.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like fuck.
yeah.
But there's a video of Steven Tyler explaining the Sweet Emotion song, and in the beginning you'll hear like I forget what it's called. It's like a the vibration.
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah. I feel like I can picture that. I haven't listened to that song in a
you
while.
Can hear
but
it like in the beginning when like it's like the guitar riff and it's just like kind of like spooky, mysterious, and then you hear it, and then you hear like this one like weird sound, and he's like, "That right there, that's when it broke." So like when he hit it and it just broke.
Damn.
And they kept it in.
Yeah.
And then in the beginning, like I think it's when it builds up a little bit, you hear a shaker, and he's like, "There's no maraca or anything in this track." He said what it was is he found a salt bag or a sugar bag, and he's like, "Turn up the mic really, really, really loud," and he just like shucks this little bag. It's like, damn, it sounds so good.
That's wild.
Sweet emotion. Yeah, crazy what you can do.
There's a similar story about Fleetwood Mac. I forget what album it was that they were recording, but Lindsey Buckingham, who was their guitarist, and who was notorious for just being like sort of off his rocker, just kind of out there in like so many ways. Also, they were doing so many drugs, so definitely contributed to it. But there was one part of the recording where he like, I forget what song or the sound, but it's him like slapping a lamb chop with like a mallet.
Jesus
and that was like
Christ.
how he got like the sound that he wanted to get for what they were doing.
Like, how was that in the studio?
I think
why
so.
would you
He's
bring
just
a
like,
lamb chop and a machete in the studio. Like, what are y'all
I don't
doing?
know. I don't know.
Just to imagine how crazy that must have been that time.
Oh, yeah.
With that band.
Yeah, well, just since they were all like together and the drugs and getting divorced and fighting, and they all hated each other. Like, I couldn't like imagine playing shows and like touring with people you hated. Like, I can imagine that, dude.
Wild.
It would not be
with
fun.
drugs and everything in between.
I know.
Oh my god.
I feel like half the reason like it's like this is so fun is because we're all good friends,
right?
And, like, enjoy each other's company, and like if we hated each other, like I can imagine.
Was
like,
it public that they hated each other when they were doing it, or were they kind of keeping it like under the radar?
It's a good question. I don't know at the time.
Yeah.
I feel like if you look back, there's certain performances where like Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, like the songs are literally written about like, each other, and you can see them just like side eye, like yelling them at each other.
That's so crazy.
There's one like super famous version of The Chain that is out there, and it's like they're literally just like staring at each other, just like screaming the song.
Jesus.
At each other. It's wild.
I would love to read an autobiography or a biography.
Yeah.
About that band.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the
Fleetwood Mac.
Mac.
Yeah. No, dude,
That'd be
that's
crazy.
seems like
I think
so
there
much
is one
wild
out
stuff.
there. I remember my friend Hannah read one.
Yeah.
Gypsy.
Yeah.
Jesus. Are they still alive? Like most of them?
I think so. Stevie Nicks is. Lindsey Buckingham is. Christine McVie just died. Like,
Oh
I
wow.
want to say within like the last couple months. I remember
Okay,
seeing
wow.
that. And then, what's his name? Mick Fleetwood. I might be screwing that up, but as far as I know, the rest of them are. But I could be wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy to see them live.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh yeah. There's so many
Goddamn.
bands where I'm just like, man, in their prime. Like,
I feel like a lot of the videos from back in the day that are on YouTube are a lot of like their more tame sets because they probably knew it was being filmed or like a television kind of show
sure.
instead of like a
Yeah.
raw like bar
Yeah.
set or something or like
Mhm.
CBGBs. If you know
Mm.
that, I know Dave Grohl talked about it a little bit in his autobiography.
Did he?
CBGBs is
I
a
remember that.
venue in New York that was like a lot of the underground punk scene of it, and damn, I'm butchering a lot of it, but a lot of I think the Pixies got really well known there.
Okay.
Just a bunch of who is it? Talking Heads
Oh, sure.
got to start there. Blondie, I think, got to start there.
Wow.
They would just play there, and there'd be like 10 people in the audience, and then over time, it just became one of the most well-known punk or just
Yeah.
music venues of New York.
Yeah.
It just exploded.
That's cool. I remember I watched like a Green Day documentary with, I'm forgetting the place too, but it was like a similar place in the Bay Area, like in the
Mhm.
scene that they came up in.
Were they San Francisco?
It was either they were California. It was either San Francisco or somewhere else.
Wow.
I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
But yeah, just talking about how they kind of came out of a similar like very classic punk venue, like dry venue, but just super inclusive and like super against like any sort of transphobia or homophobia, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like reminded me of a venue like the Cactus Club.
Sure,
Like that's
right.
like very outwardly inclusive and like a safe space for anyone that goes in there.
Mhm.
But yeah, kind of similar story how they just got their start like at that place, and then there was a whole controversy of when they started to get bigger and bigger and were kind of like outgrowing their independent label and sort of went through people calling them sellouts and just dealing with the backlash of like kind of coming out of the DIY scene and
Right. It's like, what are you
just
supposed
sort
to
of-
do though at that point too?
exactly, yeah,
If
'cause
that's
there
what
was-
you want to do, and
Yeah, well, and they like had people who were like, they were going on some tours, like supporting other bands and stuff, and people were like coming to the shows and were like, "Where can we get your record?" And like, the independent label that they were on just didn't have the capacity to like produce the amount of records that they needed to get out.
wow.
So they were just like, "We want people to be able to hear our music." And, like, there's a want for it. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like anyone who's like been around music and like sort of knows more of the intricacies of it, like would never blame a band for just kind of going, if you have that like upward trajectory, it's like
Yeah.
there's very
So what
few
were they
bands who like
just-
wouldn't go with it, I don't think.
Right. To not. Yeah. What would you do? Just not let more people hear your music, and
Yeah.
but I remember hearing stories of them playing like every possible show that they could get their hands on. Like they would ask people, I forget how the story went, but they ended up playing like a public bathroom one time. Just like set up in a bathroom with like an outlet or two
Yeah.
and just start ripping a set in the bathroom. I
Those
think it
dudes
was
are
more of like a
wild.
fuck you kind of thing. The
Yeah.
venue or someplace would be like, yeah, you can play in our bathroom. They're like, fuck yeah, we'll play in the bathroom.
Yeah. Get us in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's killer.
sick. Dude, I saw Green Day last September of 2021.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, they opened, or no, they headlined that night, but it was like the Fall Out Boy, Weezer.
Oh, I
Green
remember
Day.
that. Yeah, dude.
They played a good set too. Green Day,
I've
I've never seen them before, and I've always loved their music. And Billy Joe Armstrong was just like, I'm pretty sure he's clean now. I mean, I know in recent years he's been in and out of rehab, but
Yeah.
he had so much energy and just control and stage
Oh,
presence.
yeah.
It was like insane.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you have enough breath for what he's saying right now? Just singing like full ass songs and then like talking in between like small stuff, and I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I remember I saw him in like 2014 or 13.
Yeah.
I was probably like 14 or 15, so it's somewhere around there. But from what I remember, it's the same deal. Just like total command. And like I remember he just like came out with his like arms up and was just like getting so much applause from the audience before playing. I was like, damn, that looks cool. Like,
Billy Joe.
I want to be playing like that someday. But
I remember at
Yeah.
Summerfest, I think I might have told you this before, but we saw, I would always love the shows at the 1021 stage. I think it was the US Cellular stage. The FM 1021 would always sponsor like a Virgin Artist series.
oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so like smaller touring bands would sometimes stop through Summerfest and play those. And they were always like more like something that would play on FM 1021.
mm-hmm.
And I think it was maybe the day that we played there. Like this was when I was in 8th grade. And did a set during like the noon slot or something and stuck around and saw this band play from California, and they were like fucking cool, and they're called Emily's Army,
Okay.
and just like really punk kind of Cali surf rock and roll indie. And we were looking them up after it and their music, and it was super solid and really good, and then found out that the drummer was Billy Joe Armstrong's son.
Oh, no
Like,
way.
holy shit. And then looking at a picture of him, like, oh my god, yeah, it looks exactly
Yeah.
like him.
Oh, no way.
Wow,
That's super cool.
the connections that guy must have.
Oh, yeah.
And then also the lead singer, and I think there was a brother duo in there somewhere, but they were like grew up as neighbors to Billy Joe Armstrong. Like, god damn.
It's like if you want music to be your
Wow.
life, it's like all you got to do is say the word at that
Right.
point. Like if you're his son, like unless you were just, I don't know,
Yeah.
born without a musical bone in your body, like,
Right.
or hated it, but
That's gotta be a wild experience though,
Yeah.
growing up and got big shoes to fill and really like figuring that out as a young kid.
oh yeah.
Of like maybe or maybe not living up to your dad's legacy
Yeah.
and all of that conflict.
Yeah, it'd be like a blessing and a curse because like
Yeah.
you'd have a better chance than anyone to like make it in music if you wanted to, but it's like you'd always have those people saying like
Yeah.
you would have never gotten here if it weren't for your dad
Right.
being fucking in Green Day.
Right.
Like, which would be tough. Like
I feel like a lot of those people then have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And you either
yeah.
kind of make it or you don't, or
Yeah.
kind of make your own path and just say like fuck you. And
Mhm.
yeah, that'd be tough. Your parents, are they musicians? Really?
My
Or-
dad is
Oh yeah, your dad plays guitar.
Yeah, he played. I think he played drums growing up, and then he still plays. Not like super recently, but
Okay.
he kind of got me into it as a kid.
Right.
My parents got me a drum set when I was.
Was
like,
your dad
5
ever
or
in a
6.
band?
I don't think he was in a band.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think he was in a band.
Just played.
But we would play together sometimes, jamming
Yup.
like him on guitar, me on drums when I was a little
Yup.
dude, and.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is always cool to just have like instruments around, and that's ultimately
Uh-huh.
like when I started learning guitar was just because he was playing. I remember like very specifically he would play the Fade to Black riff by Metallica on acoustic guitar, and I was like, that is a sick riff.
Nice.
Like, so I just went and like learned that riff, and then just
Uh-huh.
like fell in love with playing guitar too.
Yeah.
But just having like the accessibility to
That
it
is
is
true.
like a huge thing, I think, as a kid especially.
Like when you're bored as a kid too, especially in
Oh,
the
yeah.
winters, it's such a good thing to just pick up the guitar or drums or whatever.
Yeah.
So easy if
Did
you
you-
have them.
Did you have family members that played?
My Lolo, my grandpa, was
Okay.
a
Yeah,
guitarist / bassist.
Hmm.
But my parents, like,
Yeah.
not a musical bone in their body, but
Uh-huh.
they love music, but just never
Yeah.
were like really into it. I guess my brother was a big inspiration of mine too, because
Yeah.
me and him were always just super into music, and we
Yeah.
started the band pretty early on too,
Yeah.
so that was huge.
See drums, right? Addison drums.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah, if you need a drum set, I could see
Yeah.
if they got the cymbals too over there at the house packed
Yeah.
away. If you want to buy any new cymbals, but
Yeah. Oh man.
yeah, it was fun when Bug Moment's first show. I remember for Gray's birthday, like back summer of 2021. Was it? Yeah. It's crazy to think that was Bug Moment's first show too.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone's just been around for so long. But they sent me like an invitation. I was like, y'all need like someone to open or all? Like I'll play a few songs. And my brother was in town that week too. He's like, yeah, if you have like any shows or whatever, we should do a set. And so there was a drum set that's when I met Aiden too. And
Oh yeah.
we ripped like a 3-song set, which is pretty fun. Yeah.
Nice.
He never gets to drum anymore these days.
I
Just,
bet.
like doesn't have one.
It's tough. Like if you don't have a space too or a kit,
Yeah.
it's like when do you really get the chance?
Yeah. And the electric drum kit, I'm sure just I'll fuck around on that thing like every now and then, but I feel like having the real thing would just feel so much better.
Yeah, I had or I might still have it, but a pretty similar one to that I
Yeah.
got because I remember I went to Guitar Center and I think I just wanted it like to be able to bring to college or something and play inside and like. I
Right.
remember the one that I got was like the cheapest one I could find, and it was like $300 or something.
Oh wow,
and, like,
that's still pretty pricey.
the guy was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like essentially like this thing sucks.
Yeah.
But like and that so I was like, is there anything that's like a little bit nicer but like not super expensive? And he's like, no. I was like, all right. Well, this one it is then.
Wow.
But it's true. It's like every like couple hits you'll just get a dead one. And so for
Yeah.
recording you're just like, fuck man.
I always appreciate a salesman who's like honest with you
Yeah,
about
right.
that kind of stuff. I remember it being like that made me think of I was at White House of Music buying some
Oh, yeah.
like gear back when I was like in 7th grade or something, and there's these there's like a pick holder that was just up in the counter. It's just like an add-on kind of thing that they
Like
would
for your
sell.
guitar? Or
It was like a pick holder that you would like adhesive tape onto your guitar.
Oh,
And,
okay.
like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
lost a pick, it like could hold like 3 picks in it, and you just like it was a dispenser, and you could just like
Oh.
get one. And I was like, oh, this seems like really cool. And then the guy was checking us out, and he's like this older dude, and he's like, don't buy those. My mom was like, oh my god, thank you so
man.
much. She's like,
Was it like pricey or something?
no, it's only like
Okay.
$5-10 or whatever.
You just got to get some double-sided tape at that point.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Which I'd imagine, having
Yeah.
one of those, like, maybe you look like a fool having like a pick dispenser on your
Yeah,
guitar. I don't know.
Just like projectiles into the audience. Just like hit someone in the eye.
Yeah. I remember
man.
playing gigs back in the day too with my band. I would always have the guitar pick holder like clamped onto my mic stand in case I dropped a pick, like
Oh,
filled
sure.
with picks.
Yeah.
I never do that anymore.
Yeah.
If anything, I have an extra pick or two in my back pocket, and I'll just reach and grab
Yeah.
it that way.
I feel like it's so funny. Like I feel like we, in terms of gear, like I feel like we're one of the most bare bones like bands around. Like,
do you remember what Trash was saying to
Yeah.
us? You're the best. You're the biggest band in Milwaukee. And you don't have a
don't have pedal boards.
board.
I know.
Oh my god, you kids! They're fucking crazy.
I know, dude.
Well, now you got one.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
good.
bring
It's
it
been
on
sounding
Tuesday.
good. Yeah.
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 I've been liking it. It is fun.
Yeah, adds like way more texture. I feel
Yeah.
more distinct texture. I think.
Oh, for
between,
sure.
Like choruses and verses and stuff.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think too, just like having the extra overdrive, especially not using a pick, like it's nice to be able to like stand out a little bit more in the mix with the lead stuff.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
noticed
like,
that too. I
I
was
feel
like,
sometimes it just is quiet. Like
yeah, I was like, damn, are you using a pick? And I look over and you weren't. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like really solid.
just having a little bit more breathing room with like volume and stuff is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought that was kind of cool. I feel like too with sound checks and stuff, we're always just like in and out.
Yeah.
We've been in some situations where bands have sound checked for
Yup.
notably the Madison show.
Oh my god. I couldn't imagine though. That'd be so
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah, those were some outstanding
Holy
circumstances, but
For context,
Yeah.
Prep, who will never hear this. But
yeah.
the band Prep that we opened for in Madison was that was their first night on an American tour from like England or Britain or
Somewhere.
probably the same thing.
Somewhere in the
England or
UK.
the
Yeah,
UK.
I don't know. I
What
never
is the
know.
difference between like England and Great Britain? I think Great Britain is like the UK, right? Fuck.
I don't know.
dude.
I don't know.
I feel like I
Trivial
I
Pursuit.
think I learned that like late that like the UK was like Wales, Ireland, England, and
Yeah.
maybe something else.
Dude, I'm so awful with like European
It's
geography.
crazy because they
specifics
all
and,
know
like,
the American like,
oh yeah,
history
yeah.
and shit.
We're just like we're
what
Americans. We don't give a
happened?
shit about other places.
Anything. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that was their first night on tour.
Yeah.
And their converter of like European energy to American energy exploded during their sound check.
Yeah.
And they had like a 4-hour sound check, it felt like. We were just drinking beer, like we don't
I
really
know.
just
No
do a
free
line
pictures
check.
either.
Dude, that was
Paying for
one,
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing about the Raskeller.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
I know.
That place was packed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. I know. I remember we got up there like for a line check because the show like got pushed back an hour or
Yeah.
something, and then we were just up there for a line check.
And
I think I
then-
spilled a beer
yeah.
on stage. I was like, God damn it,
That was a fun show.
happens.
And
It
then
was fun.
yeah, everyone was so drunk too.
Yeah.
Our parents.
Oh my God.
And then,
my
uh,
mom dancing out in the front before anyone else.
Got everyone going though. That was
Yeah.
sweet because the
Yeah.
shows are so odd, and I think I like make a note of it when it's happening, and when people are sitting down, like sitting down during
Yeah.
the set and like
Yeah.
inviting people to stand up. Yeah.
It's-
People were just sitting
yeah.
down during that.
I know. It was like we were playing in like a lunchroom.
Yeah,
like,
it
just, like-
literally was. Oh, the lunchroom. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's wild though, just the amount of like small stuff like that you gather just from things not going wrong, but like things you find you want to improve.
Oh, totally.
Like show to show. Like,
Totally.
I think it's
Like
wild.
every
Like
show too. I'll make
yeah,
some notes.
and just being comfortable up there. It's cool now to like look back on some of the performances from like 9 months or a year ago, and it's like I look at myself and like all of us for sure, but I like am so stiff up there compared to like how I feel
dude.
now. But
I cringed during the Paps show video. I'm like,
Oh,
oh
I
my
know.
gosh, like we are babies.
I know it's like I watched the video and it's like I know like how I was feeling up there.
Yeah,
And like I was
yeah.
having the time of my life.
Yep.
Like super nervous,
Yep.
but like having a lot of fun. And like I watched that video and I'm like, damn, it looks like I was like, not into it at all. I was just like,
but everyone else at the
stiff.
time too was like, y'all killed it. Y'all
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah.
But it's cool to know, like, yeah, we can do much better than that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah.
Best show ever. Best show we ever played.
Best 30 minutes of my life.
For real.
Yeah.
30-minute sets.
Oh man.
Yeah, 20-minute sets are like, goddamn. That's why I'm doing that solo set at the Promontory in Chicago. It's with, I think
Oh,
Totally
okay.
Cash is on that too. But
Mm.
I'm just zooming over after work and just doing something quick. It's a 20-minute, 30-minute set. I'm like, on a Wednesday.
Oh,
So,
is it?
like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of setup. I remember like when we played at JJ's that time. it
Oh
was,
my
like,
God.
a 5-band bill with like 20-minute sets, and it was like it's so much like setup takedown
Yeah.
for
I
like for 20
learned
minutes.
recently that is like a big thing in like the punk band culture.
Hmm.
Is like punk bands are known just to go one song to the other, to the next, to the next, to the
Oh,
next,
sure.
and bust out like a 20-minute set.
Hmm.
But
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's like an etiquette kind of thing with that scene. But yeah, that's just such a short set.
Yeah.
20 minutes, yeah.
No holler and swaller time
Yeah,
in there.
No, holler
No
and
room for
swallow
breathing.
time. Yeah. Looking back, yeah, every show I think there's room to improve on everything.
Yeah.
I'll like love like just it's like watching those videos, like studying film, like
Oh
like
yeah.
football.
Yeah, it's so cool to have it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's wild even looking back 6 months. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we're looking back in 20 years, like at this time. And like,
Right.
it's just so cool, like that stuff's always going to be there. Like, always
Yep.
going to have it to look
Just
back
like
on.
a staple.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure in that time too, like 20 or 10 years down the road, it'll feel like just a bunch of nostalgia as far as like our friends and the other bands that are around. And
Oh,
then like looking
yeah.
at like who's where now.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be wild. It's gonna be
Yeah.
wild. I'm excited for it.
Me too.
Yeah. The damn. Yeah, we got some big shows coming up. I keep thinking about the Turner show. I've talked about it before on some vlogs and podcasts, but
Yeah.
it was really sweet the other day when I hit Kit up and asked if it was confirmed. He's like, "Ready when you are, man." I was like,
Wow.
I can do it.
So insane. It's so insane. Dude. I know. I've been like I've been telling some family members just because like out of town relatives are like who want to come for a show. I'm like, if there's any show, like it's gonna be that show.
Right.
But also
Like,
not been
mark
trying
it
to
off
like
the
tell everyone I
calendar.
know because it's like it's just so exciting. Like, it's
Right.
the toughest thing with like doing stuff you're really proud of is like just holding it in, not just like
Yeah.
oversharing everything,
Totally.
you know?
Well, when the ticket link gets available, that's when
Yeah.
like buy your tickets now because we're gonna sell it out.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna sell it out.
I have no
I
doubt.
was thinking like tentatively, and depending on how the whole process goes, like a maybe October like album release kind of thing for album number 4.
Number 4,
Yeah, October. I think October
Cheesehead
would be good.
Junior.
Cheesehead Nick Jr. I have no idea what it'd be called, but it'll happen.
Yeah,
I think it's good to have like a tentative like date to get stuff done by, or like a goal to hit next, which the Turner Hall show feels like it was really cool to book that, and now it feels like all right, that's in place, and now I can work up to that moment. It was like the same thing with the album release show for Cheesehead too.
Yeah,
It's like let's put all these shows like spring and summer and really plan for promoting that. And then like end of summer, changing of season, like just
yeah. That was such a cool night. I think everything with that show was just well planned and like just went smoothly.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those rare nights where like I feel like so often you look forward to things like that are like distant events that you're excited about, and
they go by
big
too
things.
fast.
Go by too fast, and like things just you have this image in your head of how they're gonna go, and they just don't end up going like as well. But like I feel like that night like went better than
Oh my god, the energy.
other
of
than
just, like
not getting the footage,
everything.
just unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
I know.
that's
I
you know
know.
nothing anyone can really do about that.
Yeah, for Ian and Willie, and I was talking to Willie about it too. Like, I'm not one to linger on stuff like that. I remember reading a quote or even a book. It's called like "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff."
Yeah.
and that helped me through a really, really crazy period in my life. But there's a quote in that book that was, it was see the glass is already broken. So it's like if you have your favorite cup or whatever, it's like seeing it already as broken kind of lowers your expectations as far as like the day, like nothing lasts forever, and the day it does break or it doesn't hold up the way you want it to, you're not as bummed out. You're already kind of prepared for the worst almost.
For sure.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I agree. I always think the same way. And like I feel like sometimes people will like think of that as like cynical, but I think it's also just being realistic with stuff. And like I
well, you're
think,
not
like,
daunting on the fact that like
exactly.
nothing was,
You're
know,
not like,
just
oh,
prepared
nothing
for it.
matters, like blah, blah, blah.
Right,
But just not being
yeah.
like too connected with like material stuff, you know, not being too attached to it or making it part of your identity like to a too large of an extent. Or
and then like realizing that it is something you won't be able to get back. It's like you're not gonna gain anything from really like I don't know. There's nothing you can do about it. So why put your energy into it? So
yeah, I feel like so many people are like so caught up on like some aspect of their past and like are always like, I feel like, you know, the whole saying like the whole bad timing saying is like always one that frustrates me, because I
What
feel
is
like
that
it's
one?
like just in general, like people saying it's a bad time for this or it's like not a good time for that. Just like, I feel like it is what you make of it to a certain extent. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for some certain things I obviously understand, but like just in general, like I think you can be as caught up on stuff as you let yourself be. And just letting yourself get over it, I think, is a liberating thing.
Totally.
For sure.
Totally.
With a lot of stuff.
I came across today, even when I was scrolling on fucking Instagram. There's this like, there's a Twitter thread that was made into an Instagram post.
Yeah.
And this guy, the caption was like, I spent 15 hours a day for 6 months meditating with monks, and this is what I learned. I'm like, who is this guy? But I don't know. Read through, and there's a bunch of like good points, and there's one that was like a lot of, I couldn't word it exactly, but there was one that was yeah, just a lot of the philosophies that you just kind of said. The reason why you think life goes by so fast is that you're always kind of fixated on the next better thing rather than being present.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like, it's one of those things that is just a good thing to keep in mind. And like, I think a lot of people are like very quick to dismiss the whole notion of like the present is all you have. Like, you know, the past is just memories that you're having in the present, and the future is, you know, just like thoughts that you're having in the present of what could potentially be, but the past and the future, for all intents and purposes, like only exist in like your present consciousness.
Wow.
And like, I feel like a lot of people are so quick to be like, oh yeah, but of course, like tomorrow is going to happen and I have to like be pragmatic and plan for it. But which I understand too. But I think just keeping like that notion in your head of like being appreciative of the present, and doesn't mean you totally have to just like forget about everything that has happened and is to come.
Right.
Just like taking some pieces of like some of those philosophies, I think can sort of change how you think about a lot of stuff for the better. Definitely.
Yeah, being present is a wild thing. I remember reading once too that like technically we're living in the past because the amount of time it takes for the senses, say like you touch this table, the amount of time that feeling comes to your brain is like 0.00000 is like 3 seconds. So like we're always like, the amount of time it takes for our senses to get to your brain and realizing what's going on is like delayed a little bit.
Sure.
It's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh,
fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of trying to. It's easier said than done too. About
Oh, it
enjoying
is.
the present moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Cheesehead release show with the energy specifically, and maybe had to do something with summer wrapping up, and but compared to like, I mean, the other, it's just interesting. The other two PAP shows, the backroom shows we did, the energy was crazy, but it was different.
It was.
Each show.
Yeah. It's almost cool that like just a glass half full perspective on not having the footage is like, we'll always just have like the memory that we had of like being up there and experiencing it, and like
maybe it was
never
meant
have
to
it.
be. Yeah,
Because
because Willie's camera and Ian's camera just shit it out randomly.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people like, and it was cool. Like I had a lot of friends like that were able to see that show that really hadn't like gotten the chance to see us before, and like a lot of people were just like, I've never seen like that kind of crowd energy like at any show I've been to before. And yeah, I don't know. I think it was really cool. Like I was definitely felt nervous for the first time in a while at a show, a little bit going into that one, just obviously wanting to give people like the best possible experience that they could have at it. But I think it was just so cool to get up there, and like I think you forget that like everyone at those shows wants us to succeed, and like, is happy for us and is not like watching with like a judgmental eye sort of and like hoping for failure. But yeah, it's just so positive and like so inclusive of everyone there. It's very cool.
Super cool. I can't think of the last show I got a little nervous for. I think I was a little nervous for the Cactus Club show, that with that Diet Light EP release for some reason. But man, I think I'm just such on autopilot up there at some points. Like we've done the show so many times, these songs so many times. I think at most it's like the new ones, like the covers.
Yeah.
I'd be like trying to remember the lyrics and delivering it that way. But yeah, as far as like the Sunset Cigarettes, I wrote this before your party. Like I don't even think about the lyrics that I'm saying. Do you remember lyrics pretty well?
Yeah, I would say pretty well. But I feel like with our songs now, it's like I don't even have to think about where we are in the song. I can just like feel when the transition to the verse or chorus is gonna come, and like.
And if anything, if I fuck up, it's like playing a fret too high.
Oh, like, yeah. Well, like that shit, like the mechanical stuff, like that'll always. I feel like I'm just not good enough at guitar to where I can play without messing up like at all, you know. And I don't know if like everyone's gonna mess up, like and that too.
Yep.
But as far as like the structure of it goes, so ingrained, like so ingrained in my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, going back to what we were talking about with like the, like prep and their sound check and the malfunctions, and we've always just been so get in, get out, play a killer show, like no problems, like done.
I feel like it's like
easy.
I think that it seems like so many bands, their priority is like on the gear and like the technical sound, you know, and like I feel like we obviously want to get our sound, but it's like I feel like our priority has always been like, what can we do to make this the best experience possible for the people who are seeing the show. And I think there's a lot of bands who really prioritize both, but I do feel like sometimes the downfall of a band can be just like that sort of selfish look for like the perfect sound when it's like sometimes it's like, what are people really gonna notice the difference of if they're not like if they haven't written the songs or like played the songs a million times.
And it's like somewhat if you're delivering a performance to an audience member and you're more concerned about the way it sounds rather than say like your guitar isn't getting the right tone out of it for whatever reason, I think the audience member who's never seen you before will be impacted more if you're just present in what you're playing, rather than like, oh, I think his tone could be like a little bit different. Like the average music goer sure is not thinking about that.
It's like even like I would notice if like a band's guitar tone was like a little bit different this show than like the recording or like from the last show.
Dude, your kick drum, buddy, sounds like a bag of dicks.
I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, buddy. Is that guy still doing videos?
I haven't seen him. I would just always see him come up like.
Kind of want to pull him up right now.
It's like Fat West, like PHATWES.
PHATWES.
Yeah.
Let's check this out.
The only reason I'm doing this gig is because I threw out a disc in my bag.
TikTok. This guy?
Yeah. Hopefully he has some of the good stuff.
Dude,
he has like
wait, skunk?
Dude, okay, those yeah.
Not trying to be rude. I've been doing this 35 years or so. Yeah, I've done shows for bands like Nickelback, Panic at the Crisco, Limp Bizkit. Would you believe me if I told you I'd done a little show for a band called, Aerosniff? Yep, 1989. That Steven Tyler fella got a little angry. Somebody went to
I'll find that one. Is his TikTok? Yeah, he's got a lot of TikTok followers. Holy shit. Skunk merch.
Oh my god, the skunk ones are funny too. They're just like so accurate for like
Yeah.
what you really actually might see.
I feel like the last. Oh. Yeah.
Do you know anybody who sells top hats for mosquitoes? One second, my possum's being bad. Jody, that's not your beer! You let that guy out of the homeless shelter, am I right? I'm Brody. Slade.
Oh my
You guys are
god.
making the Little Mermaid black? I'm actually technically part black myself.
What? God damn
Oh
it.
my
yeah. I gotta take a leak, but you can either. Well, we could cut it. So what, day 4?
Day 4.
Jeez Louise.
I know.
How does it feel?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Truman's vape was looking a little tasty today, though.
Ooh, geez.
That's the hardest part. Is he'll call me into his room and it'll just be right on his desk. I'm like,
Don't do it. Don't do it. When you're surrounded by it, it's really tough.
it is, especially at the beginning.
Definitely.
Well, honestly, I don't know. I did like a couple months ago, and even still, by the end of it, I was like, oh man. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. I
See.
remember once I was on the Jewel for a while, freshman year of college, and then I was like, this cannot be good. Because I remember going to bed like every night, and my heart would just be like pounding.
yeah.
You ripping it right before bed. I was
Oh,
like, this cannot be
yeah, dude.
good. And then my lungs would kind of feel like strained. And then I was like, I gotta stop. So I got the nicotine gum.
Really,
And
how was
I
that?
stopped for a while. It was actually really good. It took the
Yeah.
craving away.
Okay.
Specifically, like the craving of wanting, like if I was craving, I would just pop one of those in, and like I
Yeah.
kind of felt like a weird buzz. I don't know if it was like
Mhm.
placebo, but.
Yeah.
And then I had a rule for a while. I wouldn't hit a Jewel, but I would hit like someone else's like thing if they had it.
Yeah.
Which Jewels, like everyone had Jewels at the time. So I was like,
Okay.
nope, Jewel, not hitting that.
Yeah.
So that helped a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's, I don't know. I just always see videos coming up about like people who had, like have had lung issues and stuff from vaping, and I'm like, damn, I'm like kind of scared. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just the anxiety of it, and like my lungs just feel worse for sure when I'm doing it a lot.
Totally.
And
yeah.
like I think like anything else, it's like if you can do it in moderation, like
Mhm.
it's fine. But
But just having
I
one
very
of those
clearly
is,
is, like when I've got one, like I just cannot do it in
Rip
moderation.
Yeah, it's always like right before bed. Like,
yeah.
and you don't even like feel much of a buzz or anything.
No, that's the
It's like-
thing. It's like when you don't have one of your own, and like you'll hit it for the first time in a couple
Yeah.
days, like you're like, duh.
Dude.
But when it's all day, it's like you'll get a buzz in the morning, and then like after that, you're just doing it because it's like
Ooh.
habitual, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
there's some people I'll talk to that'll say that they like the first thing they do in the morning is hit a vape. Oh,
dude,
that
when I
cannot be good for your body.
when I have one, like, no, it's not like I won't like roll over in bed, but it's like I'll wake up like, it's like,
yeah. Oxygen.
yeah. But I definitely would wake up, make a cup of coffee, and then get to it.
Sure,
You
right,
know?
right.
Little game of online Catan, like.
I'll always try to not
Man.
if I do have a vape, like not hitting it until like after noon at least, so my
Yeah.
body wake up a little bit.
That's smart.
But
Yeah.
there's definitely been times when it wasn't the case. But yeah, it cannot be good for you.
I think I'll
long run.
definitely like miss it the most on like road trips, dude.
Oh,
Like,
sure. I
man.
mean, Zins, man. These
Yeah.
things have been.
yeah.
I was talking to someone recently, and they said that they went to the doctor, and they're like, "Do you smoke?" And they're like, "Nah, but I do use nicotine, like the Zins." And the doctor was like, "Okay, good, because like if you're doing nicotine, the Zins like will
Oh,
be the
yeah.
healthiest for you." And
Yeah.
like, okay, hearing from like a doctor, I guess I feel
Mhm.
better about it.
Yeah, I feel like anything if you can avoid putting stuff in your lungs, and like I don't know. There's certain things I'm not willing to give up as far as that goes, but nicotine, I'm
Yep,
like that's
yep,
probably
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Just like the pictures, it's long term. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel sometimes too. Some of like if I'm having me and Sheila were talk about this too. Like just drinking a little wine or alcohol. It's like that's when like nicotine just like hits the best.
Yeah. Or at shows when you just want like a little buzz going on beforehand.
Yeah. I guess I think I've heard too that just replacing that craving with something else.
Yeah.
Like once you can trick your brain or train your brain into like once you like recognize that you're getting a craving for nicotine and then kind of like maybe taking a sip of water instead. I think you need to have something that replaces that old craving. That helps like a lot.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of candy. So, like when I get a craving, I'll like eat a piece of candy and like sparkling water and
For sure, it was like a piece of gum would help.
Piece
too,
of gum,
if it's just
yeah.
a normal piece of gum.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I hear from people like after 90 days, some of like the most intense like cravings go away.
Oh, okay.
And granted, that's a long time. Like that's 3 months, but
90 days. Yep, you'll get there.
something to shoot for.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, hopefully you blow up on TikTok from it too.
Yeah, right.
It's a good way to
Little
go
bit
about
of
it. That's sweet.
little bit of I don't know. It's definitely like at least a made up feeling of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like responsibility. If you're like posting about it, then it's like you feel silly if you give it up after like 6 days.
Totally.
You feel kind of dumb for making a big deal out of it. But
so
honestly,
then, like
it's
once you do hit something, you gotta be like, "Yep, sorry guys, couldn't do it."
been vaping the whole time.
Just put you on a
Gotcha.
fake image.
Awful.
Yeah, terrible.
Awful. Yeah.
Oh shit. What are you doing this weekend? Anything coming up? You got that PBS thing on Tuesday.
That's on Tuesday.
Is that live too?
I don't think it's live.
Okay.
Yeah, they said they were like, I don't think they were rolling out the series until like April or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Just getting some content together.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it'll probably be a while before anything's done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the song coming out on Friday, which I'm stoked about.
Super sick.
Other than that, yeah, just chilling. Been playing a lot of guitar recently.
Yeah.
Just like trying to get better at just like the technical side of guitar and just been jamming a lot with different sounds and
Figure out that pedal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you usually jam on electric or acoustic? A little bit of both.
I do a good amount of both. I feel like kind of whatever I'm in the mood for. I feel like I don't know. I feel like when I write songs, they will often start on acoustic. If I have like lyrics, I feel like I most often will sit down and work it out on acoustic. And
Do you write your
sometimes,
lyrics first? Or
like,
how's your process look? I don't know if
it's a good question. I feel like I don't have like a distinct process. Like sometimes I'll just have like a stream of lyrics that'll come up and like I'll get them down and either match them to like some other musical idea.
So
I
kind of like,
have.
do you hear like a melody first, or you just hear like, or just feel like some words kind of together?
I feel like it'll sometimes be a little bit of both. Like sometimes I can like hear an entire like track or an entire loop of like a song in my head with like what the bass would be doing, what the guitar would be doing, drums would be doing. Sometimes it's just like a line of lyrics, and then like I'll either like sit down with those lyrics and like try to write a guitar melody that goes with them, or like try to, if I have just like an empty guitar idea that I have and then just like a set of lyrics, like try to transform them into something that could kind of work.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like it depends. Sometimes I'll just sit down like and record a guitar loop and build it like that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what about you?
Well, it's always, like kind of similar. It's always different.
Yeah.
I don't know about finding like the lyrics first. I feel like I always have to have at least a chord progression and like know what the melody is
Sure.
along with it. And I've gotten pretty comfortable with finding my range as far as like I don't know, just kind of fuck around, like, and just like say nonsense in the voice memos. But it usually starts with like an empty guitar, and then just like humming melodies, and then like building some lyrics off of that, and then like really feeling like where the guitar chord progression, like what it sounds like, if it's like happy or sad, or like what the emotion is in that, and then fitting like lyrics with that, like building it that way.
How do you like when you come up with guitar progressions? Because I feel like Social Sig progressions, like they have a very distinct feel. Like I feel like it's definitely like a specific sound that you can pick out. Like where do you like start when it comes to guitar progressions?
Usually, I think I just have a really narrow amount of chords I know as far as the bar chords, the major sevens, the major, and then lately. Especially with Cheesehead, and then like recently just really fucking around with like majors and then the minors, like, and then trying to fit bridges in between those. I've been trying to stray away from like, because I'll notice I love just like a nice chug, as you probably know, but trying to get more like flavorful with the guitar strumming. But I think just like not knowing too much really allows me right now, at least, like, of course I always want to like learn and whatever, and like get better and like learn more chords and whatnot, but right now I feel like I've always had this like a narrow scope of chords, and I'll just like mindlessly kind of tool around something on guitar, and then like start randomly somewhere, and then figure out like, ooh, this chord progression is kind of cool, and then have one, and then if I like need a chorus, like I'll try to like figure out like what's next in that chord progression that's like fits with that first one, I guess.
I feel like I don't know, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to, like, feel like we've both just written like a lot of songs like in our lives, and like it's hard to not sort of find, at least I felt this way, sort of find myself kind of going back to like the same core progressions that I've used like a bunch of times. Like it's like a look back and like trying to put together like a set list for these upcoming shows. I'm like, God damn, 4 out of my 9 songs are like in E major, and like
like, would that be like the same chord progression then? Or?
Not necessarily the same progression, but just like within the same key.
Gotcha.
And I don't know. I just like.
Do you think you just do that to fit like your voice, or do you really not think of that?
I honestly don't know what it is. I wonder if it's just like certain shapes, like chord shapes that I use, and like, like especially with like E major, and like I know it's similar with like Hot Red sliding up that like open E, dude. It's just so satisfying.
Good.
Like,
sounds so good.
And I end up like using that a lot, and. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but
because you can build it up like in the recording, but then like acoustically, it could sound very similar
for sure. Yeah, but I definitely feel like I've been at a point recently where like I want to expand my knowledge of chords just to like build more interesting progressions, and like just have more tools to kind of work with, you know.
I'll agree to that too. Not like ever repeating the same chord progressions really in one song. Can't really think of a song that I have, at least. I mean, I have a few E to A's, I guess, like Fuzzy Thoughts, Hot Red, What the Fuck Is Love.
Yeah.
But they're all different the way they're played.
Well, those songs are like, you know, they just happen to be in the same key.
B to E is also really nice. Sunset Cigarillos, Lauren. Yeah. The B to E. Yeah, it's really just fucking around. I really love I've been doing a lot of minors to start choruses.
Yeah.
Minors are really emotional.
Yeah, that new one.
Yeah.
Minor.
Yeah. And then this other new one that we jammed a little bit, I think before Kai got to practice last week.
Oh, yeah.
That one, I got to show you that one too. Just like the demo of it.
Yeah.
And like with these, like I would love to get Kai's like drums in them.
Yeah.
Too. And like I'm trying
100%.
to think too, if I get Logic, because I know you can tweak drums even better in Logic, and almost like sitting down with Kai and like putting together a Logic with this. I don't have Logic yet, but does this sound like it's possible to like sit down on Logic and like make a drum beat out of the tools, like maybe MIDI
Mhm.
or just like I remember Tony Spence. I went over to his house once and he was showing me how he does drums, and you can like have a drum loop and then you like click like there's like a pad and then you
Okay.
can like unselect something and like or move it over to a certain spot and it like totally changes up where it's hitting
Okay.
in the drum loop. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But trying to get that. So I just feel that Logic drum loops just sound so clean and like really tweakable in a recording, I guess.
Yeah.
But also that was me thinking like with Raspberry Blue and My Last Cigarette, like the guitar and bass amps are like also maybe picking up some drums in them.
Yeah.
Which I love how they turned out, but part
Yeah.
of me is like, I feel like they could be a little bit cleaner and more dense or more fat, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. Yeah, I definitely think one way or another you could get something together in Logic to at least give Kai like an idea of what you're looking for and like have him like replicate it. Like, kind of what you're
Right.
thinking.
Yeah.
Like just bring something
Or
for
even
him.
like listening back to a voice memo of how his drums sound and then like being meticulous about like plopping some like splashes where he would splash and try to like really get that sound. But I feel like maybe we could see like the live recordings of just drums too. Long to click track I think would be pretty tweakable with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think like I don't think playing to a click track, like I feel like it's just like anything else, it's just something you have to like practice with any instrument. Like, and I feel like just recording, I've always played to one, so it's just like getting that experience. But if you've never like practiced to a click, like it can be hard, especially for like certain songs. It can be really hard.
Yeah.
Do you usually record to a click?
Yeah.
It just makes it so much easier. Like,
there's only a handful of songs I didn't do to a click. I think Lauren wasn't to a click, and then
really?
some like, yeah, because that has no drums in them.
Yeah.
But and I couldn't figure out. I think like originally thought about doing like a recording like I normally do with the drum loops, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out the right drum loop for that song. But I love how Kai's drums. We could even do that song.
That would be cool too.
I was thinking too, I really want to re-record the song Melting on the Street, like maybe jamming it full band kind of thing, but getting a really good recording of that one. Because it's like, the way that song is and the lyrics I love so much. And
that's a great song.
I think it could be. And the recordings I've done and put out there were only on my phone.
Okay.
Just like recording it straight there and just like raising some levels on GarageBand. But I
Yeah.
think that could have a really cool like sound to it if it's really
That'd be
catchy.
interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see like a lot full band arrangement.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
He definitely
Willie
could.
the other day loves that. So many people love that song. And
My sister loves that song.
he had me replay it. And I just think the recording just isn't up to par of what it could be to make it more like a standout song.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that song would be sweet.
I would love to get my hands on that one. Do like an acoustic, like do an acoustic recording if you wanted to redo an acoustic one.
Oh yeah, have some like kind of lead in there.
Yeah, even just like I'd love to record the acoustics like just the way that I always do them.
Oh,
and, like,
sure,
just, like
yeah.
re-record like
Dude.
a higher quality acoustic version of it, because if there's one thing I feel like I can always get people a good product for is like acoustic guitars.
Acoustics.
Love recording acoustic guitars.
Have you been working with anyone recently on stuff?
I've been working with that girl Hannah on another track.
Oh, yeah.
I know I
Yep.
did like a feature with her a couple months ago.
I remember that.
But nothing more than just I recorded like an instrumental, sort of like she sent me kind of a demo that she had, and I re-recorded like some acoustic guitars and bass for that.
Okay.
But other than that, I've got like a couple new songs I've been working on, that one coming out, and then
You're working on another album?
more. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that's been
eventually, you know.
yeah, it's like one debate I've been having with myself recently is like doing like an album or just keep trying to get like a single out like every couple months, because I don't know. I think that like videos I've watched on the state of the music industry right now, people tell you to like lean away from doing full albums, and just in terms of like giving your chance to like get noticed by algorithms and releasing a single every couple months and stuff like that. But also taking all of that off the table, I just like have always loved the idea of albums, and I think just like you can express like ideas so much better in like a full-length album format. And I think it's just a different skill set to be able to write like 8-10 songs that fit like, or more, that fit a common theme like that. And I think it's just nice when songs kind of have like a home in an album.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
Like just kind of a timestamp, so they don't just,
Exactly.
you know,
It's almost like a
so-
chapter. I feel like the last 3 albums, it's after each album release, it's like, okay, now it's like let it breathe a little bit, but then it's just back to the writing and like working towards another bigger project. I think is really, and I was kind of mentioning before, I mean, with like the Cheesehead album release and just having something to work towards as like a bigger project always like, feels really fulfilling.
I agree. And like, I think, you know, it's like, I of course want to appeal to the algorithms and like get my music heard and such, but at the same time, I'm like, what am I really going to care about in the long term? Is it going to be that, or like writing and putting stuff towards like something I'm proud of and like something where I can fully express all my ideas and such?
I forget who was telling me, but maybe it was Motel Breakfast, but maybe it was Max at Diet Light. I forget who it was, but there's someone planning on like just doing kind of like 2 album release, or no, what was I saying? 2 like single, like a double single release kind of thing, like every like few months, and then like one of those songs will be on the album. Like pick the better one of the 2,
okay,
or even both of them. I think you could easily like be working on some other songs you don't want to release until the album, but still be able to drop like 1 song every few months though.
Sure.
Of that album.
Yeah.
You know, to give them a home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I like.
But you and I both have so much music out already.
Yeah.
We, like, you know, for people to listen to, which is the most important thing.
Right. So it's like no rush to like get stuff out, like just to have something out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And people can dive back to the older stuff.
Yeah.
I remember the Elliot guy on Instagram that we're talking about, which is crazy that other account with like the similar amount of followers.
Yeah, dude.
But it was like the same content. It didn't really look like it was a bot.
I know. It was.
Maybe
It
he
was
has 2
weird.
Instagrams.
Yeah.
I've heard of people having multiple TikToks.
Yeah. And people get their TikToks taken down for just like seemingly random reasons sometimes.
Really?
Just,
Wow.
I know a lot of people have like backups.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. But anyway.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah.
I saw with Bridger recently, and like, if Instagram, for whatever reason, wanted to take your profile down, it's like a big chunk of your audience and promotion and everything. It's kind of scary to think about.
Yeah, to think that it could be taken down without like due reason, or like just without you knowing, or not necessarily doing anything wrong. But
I was talking to Sully too, Celestial, and his Facebook account to this day he doesn't have access to, because
really,
maybe like 2018 he was doing an Instagram ad and they're intertwined, and someone hacked it and tried to take a bunch of money or something from it, and basically Facebook just shut down the Celestial Facebook account, and he's emailed multiple times, like tried to get a hold of Facebook, and just cannot for the life of him get his Facebook account back, which is super annoying. And he's able to still post on, I think, Instagram, where it's like connected, and I'll post on the Facebook, but they'll still be like, the person who has his Facebook account will post like stories or whatever on it, like just like trying to sell shit, like those random bots
Oh,
kind of thing.
yeah.
And it's like he had to
Damn.
make a post like, don't follow this account, it was hacked, blah blah blah. And it's like, fuck, dude, you really can't get that back.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary.
It's just tough. There's like so many people. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just hard to like get the attention of like companies to like fix my shit.
Right.
Like,
And I tried to maybe he could do a TikTok of like every day of like trying to get his Facebook back.
yeah. You could turn anything into
Yeah,
a TikTok
right.
series.
You got my
dude. Like,
mind thinking. Yeah.
if you got like if you got a good personality, like it's
Yeah.
amazing the stuff I find myself interested in on TikTok. It's, like,
sure, right.
stuff I would have never thought, but the person is just like just good at talking, or
Right.
like they're funny.
I feel like you just gotta find that one kind of thing as a content creator
I know.
to like get the algorithm to know what kind of content you post and who to
Yeah.
push it to. Fuck.
So much opportunity. I think that's like it's the most appealing and frustrating thing about TikTok is like with one video it's like your life could be entirely changed. Like just without having any followers, it's like you could go viral and like I mean it's rare that like you get that much drastic change, but like
Yeah.
it's possible, and I feel like that's always why it's like I want to keep doing TikTok and trying different stuff, and like
It's like if you aren't on TikTok as an artist, it's like
it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like it really is.
the amount of people that will most like the random people that will see your stuff is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, it's amazing. Like posting similar content with just what I've been doing with promoting like the most like past couple singles I've released is just like daily stuff of posting like almost the same video, but just like same video, different day, different format, whatever.
Right.
And it's like different people see it every time. It's like I'll
Right.
use similar hashtags. It'll be a pretty similar video, and it'll
Crazy.
be like different people every single time. And
Yeah.
it's just wild. Like
Yeah. Which I think the day like the everyday thing I think is like really smart to
yeah.
just like get a consistent like following, and
Oh yeah.
just like Evan from Diet Light is just the main
Yeah,
example,
man. Like that's
God damn, Evan. My phone's still recording. That's why I have the mirror up there.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna double check it.
Yeah.
The Napoleon Dynamite scene where he's got the time machine. And Uncle Rico brings home the time machine because he like wants to go back in time to win the football championship or whatever. And Napoleon comes home and the time machine's like on the table, and he like tries it out and he puts it in between his like crotch, and then he's like, "Wait 1 sec, I forgot to put the crystals in." And he puts the crystals inside the time machine. They like boost it up. It's just
my
like shocking his nuts. God damn it. That movie is so fucking funny.
It's so
I need to
good.
rewatch it because
Same.
it's definitely top 5 for my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
always say that movie.
It's so good. It's been a minute though. I haven't seen it in so long.
I saw a Napoleon Dynamite screening of the movie like 2019 at the Riverside Theater.
Oh really?
They played the movie, and then it was a Q&A after with John
I
Hader,
vaguely remember that.
the guy who plays Pedro, and then
Yeah.
Deb. They were all up there.
Mm.
It was so cool. Like,
Wow.
oh my god.
They just like take it on tour, like Napoleon Dynamite on tour.
Pretty much,
All
yeah.
that
They're
time
selling
later.
tater tots at the vendor.
Wow.
And they're so
Incredible.
funny and crazy, like that they would just keep saying that they had no idea that it would blow up. It was just such an indie film. It was like,
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to blow up at
That's
all.
wild, dude.
So crazy. And like till this day, so many people love that movie. It's such a good movie.
It is. Is that where like is it John Hader?
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Heater?
That's where he
Yeah.
got his like,
Is it?
because then he was in Blades of Glory.
Oh my god. That movie is so funny, dude. That's another one I haven't seen in like ages, but god damn, that's a funny movie.
It's like, I see you got fat. I see you look like a 15-year-old girl, but not hot.
What's the name of the move that they were trying to
Iron
do?
Lotus.
The Iron Lotus. Are they like
It's suicide. It's suicide.
like the old recording, just getting like the head sliced off. God.
You know who would only try it? It's the Russians, because they're crazy enough to fucking try it. They'll try anything. Or something.
God. Damn, dude.
The
I gotta
funniest
see that
part
again.
of that movie, I feel, is when they're doing their first routine together, and it's the I don't want to close my eyes.
Oh yeah.
And they like at the end they come together and they scissor. Yeah,
Shit.
so fucking funny, that movie. Yeah, I saw at the Riverside too. Maggie Rogers is coming with Del Water Gap.
That'll
It's
be
gonna a pretty cool show.
Yeah.
Tickets are like starting at $90 for like back. The pit is like $260. I was looking at it today.
60.
Yeah.
I like Maggie Rogers and Del Water Gap, but like
Dude.
$90 has got to be like a show I really want to see.
I know. My brother for Christmas got me a $75 Ticketmaster.
To
gift-
that
gift-
show.
gift
Oh,
card.
gift card. That's nice.
And,
actually,
as much as it sounds like we're not supposed to support Ticketmaster, but I got a gift card and
yeah,
thinking about just doing like a solo thing. I mean, if anyone else is there, but
yeah.
Just getting
Oh,
a
that'd be a
ticket.
good show.
yeah,
Wow.
a lot of the Paps wrap ups were saying like most anticipated show was the Maggie Rogers at Riverside.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. Del Water Gap too. I remember listening to some songs like senior year of high school. The High Tops.
You used to see me in your high tops. Yeah.
And then Vanessa is a song that
That band.
that band covered.
Your Mom?
Your Mom in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Never would have thought a band would cover that song. So I feel like it's on one of his
Yeah.
earlier things, but
They were a really good band.
they were.
Is that the band that broke the string and ended up using my guitar for like the second half?
Was it? I think it was like
It was them or
moving
the
around.
other?
I think
Them or what? The other band.
Fine by Me and
Yeah.
Fine by Me too. I think that a lot of I was talking to Mike, the main guy, recently, and he was saying a lot of the other guys don't really see it as like a thing they want to pursue.
Okay.
Like, damn. So I think he's gonna like rebrand a little bit.
Okay.
Come the foreseeable future, but they were really good too.
They were a good band too.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
That was a really fun show. Yeah.
The Vanessa. That's like the first line in that song is like, I am so in love with her, but I am so unhappy. And I remember like right after a big relationship break in high school, that song like fuck.
Yeah.
That song hit hard.
Yeah.
That's a good opening lyric.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild to look back. Like, I feel like there's certain music from like that period in high school when you're like just becoming like starting to become closer to an adult and like really feeling everything like so strongly with just everything that you're going through that like
my god.
some music still like really will bring me back to that time.
Oh my God.
And like even if it was like stuff I wasn't like super into, but just that I can like pin to a certain memory, like it's wild how that can happen.
What age was that for you?
Probably I feel like the era I have in mind was like 17, 18. So I guess like
Yeah.
junior, senior year of high school.
Mhm.
Like really starting to I don't know. I guess I got into my first like longer term relationship when I was like 16 or so.
Yeah.
And then
I think
maybe
like
had,
16 is the age when kids start realizing that they're an individual and they're like
yeah.
invincible in a way too.
Mm-hmm.
Which, goddamn, such babies and so dumb.
I know. Yeah, 16's so young. Like it didn't feel like it at the time,
No.
but like
I'm 16, Mom.
yeah.
God damn.
I know.
Babies. I remember, I think I've talked about it before, like Odessa and Flume. And
Yeah.
I listened to Skizzy Mars a lot and G-Eazy. Which, listening back to, like, G-Eazy, god damn, that's some cringy music, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just romanticizing sex and drugs and
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean it goes to show you though, like that stuff that we see now and we're like, oh my God, it's so silly. But like when you're a kid, like and you're young, it's like I guess that's who that music appeals to.
Yeah.
Like I guess speaking about it very generally, but
I'm
it's
glad that
you know,
on Spotify, like the most the biggest demographic is like 24 to 27-year-olds for
Yeah.
social sig, and
yeah.
then it's like 18 to 21 or whatever, and like below that, I just feel it would be weird to be this age and have your biggest audience being like teenagers.
Right.
That felt
Yeah.
like, I mean, even playing that what was that, the Waukesha show?
Yeah.
That
First
got
show
us,
I ever
yeah,
played
it was
was Social
super,
Sig.
yeah, super fun. But man,
Yeah.
it was like when we were doing Yellow Weekend specifically, I was like, oh, this feels kind of odd.
Yeah, everyone there was like must have been shit
Yeah,
18 if
that was like COVID, like
Yeah.
not middle, but like right towards the end of it, and
Yeah.
or the
Right after
nearing
I
the
had
end.
COVID.
Yeah,
I was like out of isolation by 2 days when we played that show.
straight up. Yeah, so much has
Yeah.
changed since then. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why we met Madeline and Austin and Micah
Yeah.
too. I'm having Micah on the podcast soon.
Nice.
He wants to do a collab song too, so he's gonna come over and try to work
Cool.
something out. And
He's been doing really well on TikTok
oh my god,
recently.
yeah.
I
As he
always see
should.
his
He's I
stuff.
always like I
Yeah.
don't scroll through TikTok, but if it's the first video on there, I'll usually watch, and
Yeah.
it's people I follow, and yeah, he's putting out content.
He puts out good quality content too,
Quality.
and he's consistent about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's definitely out of in terms of like Milwaukee artists doing the TikTok thing. Like he's got it down pretty well. Like he's
Yeah.
got his thing, and
He's got good
he's been doing a
music
good
out
job.
too. I
And
think.
yeah, he's got good stuff to support it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get
absolutely.
Mags on the podcast.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet.
It'd be insane.
That'd be
I think
sweet.
Andrew pitched it to him, but oh yeah, I guess we'll see.
Does Andrew play with him?
He's like I think technically he's the touring guitarist of
Okay.
Mags. I don't know how he got connected, which I'd
Okay.
love to talk to him sometime about it.
Because he's in Paper Holland, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Is Paper Holland is that like a pretty concrete band, or is that like? Because I know Joe's that's like Joe's project, right?
Yes.
I wonder
I
if
think
like
Joe and Andrew's main project. And I know
Okay.
Corey is in it too.
yeah, yeah,
Never seen them live, and I know that I think they're
Neither
all
have I.
kind of older to the point where like everyone's kind of around a lot, and
sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like they only played like a few shows last year. I feel like they did Chill on the Hill,
I think they did the Summer Solstice too,
Summer Solstice.
which I reached out to the director of that one, and he said he forwarded it to the booking person for it.
Is that the one on like Prospect?
North Ave?
North Ave.
Yep, it's like
Okay.
North Ave Festival,
Gotcha.
which that would be awesome.
That'd be
I was really
sweet.
trying to play a lot of. There's this festival up in Minneapolis or Minnesota somewhere. It's like Moon Dance, it's called, and it seems like a
Mhm.
lot of like older rock and roll fans. But
Yeah.
weaseled my way into finding the contact for that.
Nice.
And it's like they're using like a booking agency for it, like someone else to do all the booking.
Oh,
So
okay.
I like reached out in their general contact form, and someone emailed back, and they're like,
Nice.
what's your price?
Oh,
And they'll talk to Moon Dance.
dude, that'd be so fun. Honestly, dude, like playing any of those summer festival things. Like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like we all kind of came to the consensus, like after this past summer, where it's like, damn, I wish we would have like done more of that.
Oh my god, yeah.
It'd be
So,
sweet.
like there's this one called like Ashley for the Arts, kind of like a festival that Ashley's Furniture sponsors.
Oh,
Just trying to find like
interesting.
Midwest festivals.
yeah.
Which that reminds me, I've got to reach back out to that Summerfest guy to
Yeah.
tell him that we're playing
Oh,
at Cactus Club too, if he
Yeah.
wants to catch us.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, I want to play Summerfest so bad, dude.
we gotta.
Yeah. It has to happen.
I'm stoked too that we're playing a show before the Cooperage show too, because it has been a while just to get like,
Yeah.
another show down.
Well, especially since like our last show too is just a 3-piece.
Right.
So I
Right.
guess it was like the back
The
room.
back room, December
Wow.
10th. Has been nice to kind of like take it, like chill out a little bit though.
Yeah. It's made me
around
really
the
excited to play again.
holidays. Yeah, me
Like,
too.
Which is good, I
I'm
think.
hungry.
Just like, because
Hungry.
not that like, I don't think there's ever been a show where I haven't been excited to play, but like, just
Yup.
especially, and give people a little break from coming out to shows
Right,
too. And
right. Especially around the holidays too, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that was like kind of strategic a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's smart.
Dude, Chicago is just so hard to book.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And then working on that Minneapolis show with Parachutes. There's this band called Lapdogs I found that seemed pretty dope.
Lapdogs.
Trying to get them on the bill. It'd be sweet to play like a venue
It would.
up there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And like doing like kind of looking at different bands on Instagram at least, and like going to flyers and like kind of getting a good idea of like the Minneapolis scene and the Chicago scene specifically, and then seeing what venues they play out. There's some like pretty big ones. There's like First Avenue, who's like kind of like the Pabst Theater group of Minneapolis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have like a lot of Twin Cities venues that seem pretty doable.
Mm.
That'd be really cool to get in the door with them.
Yeah.
And then the Madison shows coming up too are gonna
Wow,
be
yeah.
fucking cool, dude.
The Majestic.
Yeah.
Videos I've seen, there's
Oh yeah.
my sister knew this artist Connor from Madison, who weirdly enough played, it was when Kenny Hoopla played at the Majestic, and Shuby, do you remember Shuby opened there? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Connor, Shuby, and then Kenny Hoopla. But
I remember that show.
man, the video is like, that place looks sweet. It looks like so tall and
Yeah.
like
it looks like a mini Pabst Theater.
it
almost.
does. Yeah.
So it's still like the balcony and like the side booths, but like I think it's like 600.
I think so.
So it's like half
yeah.
the size. It's like really cool. Yeah.
Who is it we're opening up for there?
Seesaw is a
Okay.
band.
They're a Madison band, right?
Madison.
Okay.
And then I believe Shuby's on that bill too.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shuby's also
Seen a lot of Shuby
yeah, they're
upcoming
grinding.
year. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They are playing with us at the Beloit show with Chap Lips. That,
Okay.
Sea House. I think it'll be pretty cool. I
Yeah.
was talking to Chap Lips. I have
Yeah.
no idea what to expect, but
Yeah, I haven't been to
Apparently-
Beloit since I did like a baseball showcase there in
Yeah.
high school or some shit.
apparently there's a college there, and it's like
Yeah.
a college bar, and it has a good crowd that comes out for live music. So
Yeah. Honestly, we've never
cool.
like done a road trip where it hasn't been super fun.
Yeah.
So, you know.
totally. And we'll drive back that night. Beloit's not far.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. What is it, like 45 minutes or something? Or is it longer than
I
that?
think it's probably about 40, maybe 45.
Okay.
Around that. Should we wrap this up? We're almost
Yeah.
at 2 hours.
Are we really?
Hour 49.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Well, you got a song dropping on Friday. I'll probably.
Easies.
I don't know if I'll get this out before then or not, but anyways.
Yeah.
And then your show Tuesday, I guess, is not ticketed or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but
catch us on Tuesday again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got
Cactus Club.
double show on Tuesday.
yeah.
What time is
So-
that at? Is it gonna be pushing it a little? or-
No, I think he said we should be done filming by like 6:30.
Oh,
So
perfect.
if
Okay.
anything, like I would maybe just get there a little late, but
I mean, it's
shouldn't-
pretty
it shouldn't be
close,
pushing
I
it much
guess.
at all.
Walker's Point to
oh yeah,
Cactus Club. That's not bad.
yeah,
All right. Well, yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for hopping on, dude.
Yeah,
Also, I was thinking
yeah.
about like in the future, I want to get like, because I got the 4 mics capabilities, doing some like social sig podcasts.
yeah.
Just like
Oh,
us
hell
just
yeah.
shooting the shit. I think that'd be really cool just to kind of put out there more
Totally.
frequently too. Just
Yeah.
people hearing us chill.
That'd be
and hang
awesome.
out.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Thanks for
Cool.
listening. Check out Jacob Slade on all streaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.